Okay, in this quick video, I want to look at the matter of word choice. And the whole idea about word choice is that for copywriting especially, and applies to poetry as well too, synonyms are not really synonyms. You might have two words that mean the same thing, but there is a little difference in the meaning of each word and when you want to choose to use those words. So for the copywriter, I'm just using two different words that have the same meaning. It's just not a matter of just random choice, but you have to be very particular about selecting the word that will give the particular meaning that you're really after. Now let's look at one example here, and then we'll look at a second example. Now let's say that I'm selling a membership program, and these are three different statements that I can use at the point of decision when I'm asking that person, to make a commitment, to sign up for my program. So I could say, if you sign up for the Acme program, or I could say, if you participate in the Acme program, or I could say, if you decide to try out the Acme program. Now, all of these three statements are asking the prospect, the reader, to join my program. But there are different ways in which I can actually say it. So the question then is, which one should I choose to use? Now let's take them one by one on their own merit, and then we're going to consider which is the best choice. Now the first one, if you sign up for the Acme program. Now the challenge here is that if I ask you to sign up for the Acme program, it involves a sense, signing up for something involves a sense of commitment, almost like a long time commitment. And so it is a high pole to jump over. And so asking someone to sign up for something, there's a sense of great commitment. There's a sense of you're going to be in it for a long time. It appears as though you're making a really huge decision in that respect. Okay, so asking someone to sign up for something involves a kind of level of commitment that maybe you kind of want to soften to make the decision easier to make. Now let's look at the second one, the second statement. Okay, so that was the first statement, statement one. So let's look now at the second statement. I may say, if you participate in the Acme program. Now here, again, the question that we are looking at here, the difference between this statement and this statement, of course, is the use of the word participate. Now, copywriters know that there are some words that are intellectual words, and they appeal to the mind, and there are other words that are emotive or emotional words, and they appeal to the heart, they appeal to the feelings, they appeal to emotion. And it so happened that participate, is one of these words that, that is very, intellectual, and it appeals more to the mind than to the, it appeals more to the mind than to the heart. So so participate is more of an intellectual word. It is more of a logical kind of a word and statement. And in selling, we know that emotions always outsell things that are logical and intellectual. Okay, now the final statement that we have here is if you decide to try out the Acme program. Okay, now here I'm giving the reader the power of choosing whether they want to be a part of the program or not, because I'm giving the decision into their hands. I'm putting the power of decisions into their hand. And there are many tests, that have shown that when you give a prospect the power, or at least appear to give the prospect the power, to decide whether to decide to go or not, that they're more likely to favor a positive response, a positive decision. Okay, but here, so I'm giving them the choice of making the decision, and also instead of saying participate, now I'm saying if you try out the Acme program. Now, trying out the Acme program doesn't have the long time sense and commitment of signing up for the program. Trying out for the program is telling them the power is all in your hand, you can decide, and there's no long time commitment, but just you can, sign up for the program, and then if you would like to stay, you can decide to stay, or if you feel as though that this is not the program for you, then you can, decide that you don't want to stay with the program. Okay, so you find therefore then that trying out the program give a sense that they have the power. They can choose whether they want to continue or not. Let them know that you are in the command. Whereas when you ask them to participate, you give you the idea of like you are the teacher, they are the students, and so now they're in this group, and you're giving them permission now to participate in that group. Here, when I'm saying now you can try out, now I'm giving them the power to decide whether they want to be in the group or not. So participate kind of give a sense that I am in the command seat, I'm in the driver's seat. Try out to give a sense of they are the ones who are in the driver's seat. Okay, so quickly here we see we have a simple illustration when it comes to persuading or writing persuasively, that the very choice of words, the way that you very much ask for decision, can make a big difference in terms of the response that you will get. Okay, now let's look at the a second example. Now this time what we are doing is that we are looking at the three different statements. This is 1, 2, and 3. We are looking at three different statements, and our aim here is to build credibility for a programmer. Okay, so whether this person is the one who created the program or the one who is selling the program, the whole idea is that we are writing and we're trying to build credibility for this programmer. Okay, now we can say, in trying to build credibility for this programmer, we can say he was a head programmer at Microsoft. Or we can say he was head programmer at Microsoft. Or we can say he was the head programmer at Microsoft. Now, by quickly looking at these three statements and comparing them, first we can see in the first instance we say that he was a head programmer. In the second instance we realize that we dropped the "a" altogether, the indefinite article. And in the third instance what we did is that we added the definite article. Now just reading these three different statements and comparing them, we can see they are actually giving the same information or fact about this person. The fact is that this person was a programmer, was a head programmer at Microsoft. But we can say they were a head programmer, or he was just head programmer at Microsoft, or that he was the head programmer at Microsoft. They're all given the same information, but yet one of these statements going to strike us as being stronger, or giving that person a greater credibility, or giving the person a sense of dominance with regard to how we are going to present this. Okay, so the first one, he was a head programmer, tells us that he was one of a number of head programmers. Okay, so saying that he was a head programmer tells us, well, he was one of many others. Okay, he was in this group of head programmers. He was one of many head programmers. Okay, now not much exclusivity here. The second statement said he was head programmer at Microsoft, and just dropping the R now gives him a greater prominence. It kind of he's not just among head programmers, but he was head programmer at Microsoft. So statement number 2 is even stronger than statement number 1. If we are trying to build the prominence of this programmer. Okay, so right away we say that just by dropping the indefinite article, we have actually boosted the image of this programmer. Now our final statement is he was the head programmer at Microsoft. Now here we have moved from being a group, being a part of a group, to dropping the group here now to indicating as though he was like the only head programmer, at Microsoft. In other words, then he was the person to go to. And so we see, therefore, then by going from R to dropping the R to adding the, we have actually boosted the prominence and the image and the credibility of this programmer. Okay, so the point here of this quick lesson is that in copywriting, word choice counts. Word choice counts very, very huge, and there are nuances to the meaning of words, and there are important nuances to the way in which facts are stated. And as persuaders, we want to know that we are presenting our facts as strong as possible. And so here we just had two examples of how we